Hi everyone, welcome back to Gavin Reads All the Manga, and welcome to my very first One Piece video on this channel. It has been nearly a year since I last read One Piece, which is honestly disgusting. It's rather vile, but I will say my history with One Piece and Egghead. I started reading One Piece in September 2022, and I caught up by August 2023, and I got up to chapter 1089, which is partway through Egghead. So I do actually have a read vlog where I go through chapters 1058 to 1089 of Egghead as I'm reading for the first time. And then I did a sort of quarterly catch up back in March 2024 on my Gavin Reads It All channel, where I cover chapters 1090 to 1111. And then I did read forward. I did get up to, I think, chapter 1115 when I was doing live reactions with my channel members at the time. And then I just stopped doing chapter reactions. And so I actually haven't read a chapter of One Piece since May 2024. For context, it is now March 2025 and the Egghead arc is now complete. And one of the reasons why I fell off the wagon with reading One Piece and keeping up to date with it is because I went from being a binge reader to a weekly reader, and that was very sobering to me. I couldn't quite do it. I was still loving the Egghead arc so much, but it was a little bit harder to really get into the story and into the flow of things, and so I wasn't enjoying myself as much. But now that a long time has passed, I'm definitely ready to get back into One Piece, and I'm finally ready to finish the Egghead arc. So in this video, I will be rereading chapters 1112 to 1115 because I haven't done a video on those chapters yet, and I kind of want a record of my opinion on like every chapter of One Piece ever. So I'm going to go back and reread those, and I'm going to need a little bit of a reread because, you know, my mind is now getting a little bit foggy with what's happened in Egghead so far. So I'm going to go back and quickly reread those chapters and then get into the new chapters for the very first time. So yeah, in this video, I'll be covering chapters 1112 to 1125. And then after that, it's a brand new arc, which I don't know when I'm going to get to, but it will be coming. So if you end up enjoying this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get back to One Piece. Well, I chose a really shitty place to end last year, didn't I? Like, I managed to catch up with the chapters that I'd read, chapters 1112 to 1115. And literally the fact that this was where I ended it, and this was the last panel I'd read in a year, essentially. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? It's Emu. And do you know how much I am like so intrigued by Emu? I need to know more about them. I need to see if there is, oh God. There's a cat outside and it's going to start causing fights with my cats. Why does this happen when I'm filming? I'm filming. Can you go away until I've finished filming, please? Thank you. And also, we are coming off the tail end of Vegapunk's message, which took so long to come out. I remember reading this weekly, thinking, when are we going to get to the point now? Because we were waiting for like this countdown, this timer to finish, and finally it finished. I remember that Vegapunk had said that the world will sink, essentially. Like, that's what's going to happen. The water levels will rise, and that it wasn't the first time this has happened. So I can kind of vaguely remember all of that talk, and that was still like very, very interesting. I love the fact that we're getting so much lore, especially with the Void Century, because that is a part of One Piece history that I am so personally invested in. I really want Robin to be like more involved with that, especially since she is the one reading the poneglyphs and she's the one getting the information, and we are just mainly getting the information from Vegapunk himself, even though the 5 elders are trying so hard to stop this broadcast from happening. I forgot how terrified I am of the 5 elders. Like, seriously, even Saturn as well, like with the whole like crab thing, and oh, like they all look terrifying. It's very, very exciting. Again, I know why I stopped reading at this point. I was also like moving house, and hey, look, I finally moved house. But to leave it when the story is this intense and we are finally finding things out after years upon years upon years is like the worst place to stop reading, honestly. There was quite a lot of setup for the next arc, Elbaf, too, with Dory and Brocky coming, and I love those two so much. Like, I love the fact that they are just like helping Luffy, and they're also also question him like, hey, you just turned into an old man. Like, why? Why you just turned into an old man? And then they just help him without question, really. It's like they've accepted the bizarreness of the world, like how bizarre Luffy is and the way that he fights and him becoming Joy Boy and the Gear 5 stuff. It's like so incredibly like silly in a way, but also like so exciting. Like this was very action heavy too. Like as we are getting all of this information, all of this lore, there's still like lots happening, you know, especially with Egghead. It looks like Egghead is about to like explode essentially with all of like the Navy like outside and the questioning of their own morals too. Like we actually got, you know, Vegapunk say about how Joy Boy was fighting the government, and then you have like these random men being like, wait, is he talking about us? Like, are we the bad guys? You know what I mean? Like, I found that so very funny. I also found it interesting as well that Vegapunk said, I will not apply the labels of good and evil at all because I understand too little about him to begin with. And maybe I am reading this wrong, wouldn't be the first time. So correct me down below. But like, is he referring to Joy Boy there? I think he is, because then he does go on to talk about Joy Boy in the fact that he did lose. Like there was this, you know, epic battle, a battle that is still being fought to this day. Like the war has never really ended. The ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago still exist today and await the moment that they stir once again. In other words, the vast war that arose during the Void Century never came to an end. Also, I'm reading on the Shonen Jump app on my iPad. I had to charge this up and it's still charging. I haven't opened it in like a year because I bought this so that I could read manga on it. And then I haven't opened it in like a year. So yeah, I'm trying to apply that, like, is he good, evil, or is he just neutral? A little bit unsure about why Vegapunk said that, or if he's even referring to Joy Boy at all. I think he is. I got to say a little bit of Jewelry Bonnie, and I do love Jewelry Bonnie. Didn't get to say too much though. She did do like this, I'm still trying to get a grasp of her powers. I know she's able to like kind of tap into different futures because she did like a giant version of herself, which was very, very cool. But like, yeah, like her powers are just so immense, and I'm very excited to see like the potential of like where that could take her, because she could choose any future to like tap into. She's able to like manipulate so much of like herself and like the others around her. So like that could come in so handy, especially again like with the 5 elders. They are genuinely terrifying me so much that I don't know how they're going to be taken down. I feel like they are foes that can't really be taken down. I mean, they can, obviously, like they will be taken down, I'm sure. But like anytime soon, I do not think so. They are just so formidable. They are terrifying. Every single time I see them illustrated on the page, Oda does such a fantastic job at illustrating them, because I genuinely have goosebumps when I see them. And when Saturn as well says Robin, he says Nico Robin, the woman Akainu lets slip between his fingers, the man is soft. And then Nami's like, protect Robin, we'll do whatever it takes. I love that moment so much. One of the things that I do have a criticism for with One Piece, like in recent times, is that I don't think I felt the main bond between the Straw Hats that much. It's been a lot of fighting, a lot of like them doing their own thing. And I don't think I've really felt the adventure aspect of it, like the Straw Hats going on an adventure, you know, bonding. And I guess it has been years of them being together, so I guess like how much more bonding can you do? But I love it more when a character who I've, you know, grown to love and adore, and like, oh, like my heart for Robin and Nami and everyone is just like so massive. I love them to death. I love them so much. So I would love to see them like incorporated more into like the actual story elements of it. And I want to say like a little bit more adventure. Like I want more adventuring. Like I do love the fact that we do get all of these battles and we get a lot of lore and stuff. But I want to see them, you know, like do a little bit of exploration on like an island, and it's like seeing that all of these different sites. And that hasn't really been happening as much recently. So I'm hoping that changes. But I did love the moment when Nami was like, protect Robin at all costs. Love that. That really just reminded me of just how intense the friendship between them is. And I love getting little reminders of that. So I did love as well seeing all of these different places that we've seen across like all of the arcs of One Piece. We got to see Impel Down, we got to see Doflamingo for a second, we got to see Laboon, and that was like incredible too. Because again, it reminds me of the fact that Brook's kind of journey is to reunite with Laboon. I don't want to have to keep getting reminded, oh yeah, that's like Sanji's dream is to find the Old Blue, and Zoro's has become the greatest swordsman. And you know, I don't want to be like reminded of it every now and then and like forgetting about it. I want like that to actually be something that is more of a forefront. I know we are like heading like full steam ahead towards like the end of the series now. We are in the final saga, but I feel like a lot of the goals that we set out to begin with in the very start of the series is getting a little bit lost with all of the chaos that's happening. So to get that little reminder of Laboon was just so beautiful. I loved it. We also got to see that little dog from Orange Town as well. And I, again, like love getting reminded of characters that we haven't seen in a long time. It's just fantastic. I love the fact that with Vegapunk's message getting broadcast to everyone, not everyone's believing it. Everyone's like, oh, is he lying? Is he like doing this and the other? It's so true to real life. I don't want to get too much into like real life politics or anything, but it's so true to real life. You will see something get broadcast and then people will disbelieve it. There will be people who will resist the truth if it means not aligning with their own beliefs, or if they just don't really want to believe. A lot of people will just ignore what's right in front of them. So I love the fact that we do get this wide view of everyone in the world of One Piece and how they react differently to the news of like the government and what the government have been hiding and stuff like that. It's just so interesting, especially with today's current political climate in so many countries, and that it feels like it's so interesting to have a reflection of that in One Piece. So yeah, in the past, Joy Boy was defeated and he was, called, the first person to be called a pirate. It'll be interesting to see if Luffy as Joy Boy now will win the ultimate battle, what's going on. I mean, history does seem to be like repeating a little bit, but I don't think Luffy will lose. At least I hope not. I don't think Luffy will lose. And I guess, like, will he be called the last pirate? Like we have the first pirate in Joy Boy many, many years ago, and now we have Luffy. Could he potentially be the final pirate? I don't know. Also, the fact that the world sunk like 200 meters, in the past however long, or if it like happened all at once, I'm not 100% sure. But in the Void Century, that's what happened. And we are currently living on pieces of continent that existed long ago. So much of it is underwater. So much of this world, this planet is underwater. It's something like 200 meters. Is that where Laugh Tale is? Because I'm still like trying to keep my head focused on like the end, like the main goal, which is to, to find the One Piece, to find Laugh Tale. And I'm wondering, is Laugh Tale underwater? Is that why it's so hard to find? Because that would be incredible to see as well, and would tie so nicely back to like Fishman Island and previous arcs that we've explored, especially with the weapons and when they were introduced long ago too. So it will be great to have that come back. And I also need to like reread the earlier start of the series and like maybe, work my way from Romance Dawn back to the present day. I think that would be really handy, just so I can refresh my memory on all of the lore things that have happened and the foreshadowing that's happened in the past, character names and weapon names and where things were found, and all of that I think would be so good to do. So keep an eye out on that, because I do plan on starting Romance Dawn and like rereading it in the context of having like caught up with the series and going back to like maybe catch clues and things, as I go on. But I'm speaking a little bit too ahead of myself there. But there is so much richness, and it's very apparent with these chapters that I've just reread up to chapter 1115 that there is a huge world that we are still yet to explore and discover. 1115 chapters in, there is still so much new information. I think I did kind of get a sense that the whole like, the world will sink and stuff like that. I got a sense of that from my own theories back in the day and all of that. So I don't think like nothing too groundbreaking was discovered in Vegapunk's message just yet. There is still time. I can hear one of my cats in the freaking letterbox now as well. Like, I don't know why is it every single time I record, they want to actually cause so much devastation when I'm filming. It's like, oh, daddy's filming, so let's just cause some havoc. Anyway, while my cats are trying to ruin One Piece, I'm about to start chapter 1116. And this will be like my first brand new One Piece chapter since May 2024. And it's been, 10 months since then? 10 months since then, and my excitement could not be higher. I'm so happy to be back in the world of One Piece. I've missed it. I've missed Luffy. I've missed Zoro. Everyone. I've missed everyone, okay? And I've missed you guys as well. Welcome back. I also need to get prepared because I need to leave to go to the doctors to get some blood taken. I always faint when I get blood taken, so I'm a little bit scared. But reading One Piece, I might take it down with me so I can read it in the doctor's waiting room and stuff. It might prevent me from fainting this time. I can be brave. If Luffy and everyone can be brave, so can I. Oh my god, you are kidding me, aren't you? Oh, I've just finished chapter 1117. This is very hard to hold without like slipping. Oh, what do you mean? Like, we finally get to the stuff about, the Will of Day, people with the day name. It cuts out because they figured out that it was in the Iron Giant, that's where the broadcast transponder snail thing was, and that's where Vegapunk's message was like originating. And what do you mean? What do you mean? Lastly, I have one final message to impart to those scattered throughout the world who bear the name of D. Within you there is. And then they freaking get the Iron Giant. Why? Why? We were just about to get it. But oh my god, I love this panel. This panel is intense and amazing. I love it. The freaking 5 elders, man. Love the mention of my husband as well. Is the signal jamming? It's finally stopped. It cut out. What was he going to say? I don't know. That is genuinely so annoying. So annoying. What do you mean? Oh, I mean, it was pretty much the same as like some of the previous chapters. You know, we got more lore, like a little bit, like we figured out more about the Mother Flame and how that is going to try and like sustain the world one day, but a part of it has been stolen. I love the all-out assault panel too. There's still like such a massive fight on our hands. We barely gotten Luffy, but Luffy has been futured. Like they're ready to leave pretty much. And Luffy's like, I'm almost there, get the ship moving. And then Dory and Brocky are running. And then Luffy looks back and he sees like the kind of like warthog elder running away, I guess getting towards the Iron Giant. I wonder if Luffy is going to fight the elders now and try and get the broadcast to continue. Although I don't think Luffy is like bothering about the broadcast at all. He probably hasn't been paying attention, to be honest. But I think he's going to try and defend the Iron Giant maybe. And that's why he's not like getting on the ship right now. It was so close. We better find out in the next future. We better find out by the end of Egghead. So by the end of chapter 1125, we better find out what they mean by those with the D name. What do they have inside of them? What do they have inside of them, huh? I mean, back when Ace was alive, it was me. But now, like, what's in the others? What is in the other people? Huh? I wasn't planning on doing, like, chapter by chapter reviews or anything. Not like I used to. But what do you mean Bonnie is doing, like, the Nika look? Like, she's embodying Nika. She's embodying Joy. What? Oh my god, that's so cool. That is so awesome. I love when Luffy says to her, let's go, you want to beat those guys up, don't you? And she says, but I can't, just look at them. And Luffy says, I don't know how your powers work, but you can do it. That's what I look like when I'm free. Distorted future where I'm the most free. This is the future where she's the most free. And she's embodying Joy Boy. She's embodying Luffy. This is what Luffy does. Like, this is how Luffy inspires. And honestly, one of the main things I love about One Piece over the years is how Luffy makes other people feel, how he helps them to feel free, and he helps to liberate them. And he's just done that with Bonnie. And considering what the elders have taken from Bonnie, like, and all the stuff with Kuma as well, which, oh my god, like, I miss Kuma so much. I haven't seen him in a while, but I love Kuma. I miss him. But I just love the fact that we have Bonnie here embodying that. And she is now gonna, like, maybe help, maybe take down the other. I mean, now that we have 2 Joy Boys, essentially, I mean, obviously, like, she's not like Joy Boy. Her powers are making her a Joy Boy, you know? Like, it's a little confusing still. Like, I'm still trying to get a grasp on her powers, but like, this will help. This should surely help. Oh, wow. That is so awesome. Oh, I love that. Like, it isn't just the fact that, like, Luffy is, like, gatekeeping being Joy Boy or anything. He doesn't care. He just wants people to be free and happy and to fight the system and, you know, fight the bad guys. And gosh, that's so cool. That is so cool. And I don't even think it's, like, the fact that she is, like, Joy Boy or Nika or anything. It's the fact that she's free. She is, like, free right now. And she's about to fight back, I hope. Oh my god, is this actually how we get to take down one of the elders, if not all of them? I don't think they'll take down all of them, but one of them at least needs to come down. It's been, like, so long since we've had, like, a win, like a major win where a big bad has been defeated. And even, you know, the Iron Giant is like a strange present, act quickly there. And it looks like maybe the Iron Giant might be able to get out of this water, maybe by itself or with the help of the 2 Nikas. I was so close to seeing that moment like a year ago when it happened. And I decided not to continue at that time. Why am I so dumb? If anything, filming this vlog now as I'm catching up with Egghead and finishing it off, I'm just realizing how dumb I was a year ago. And Luffy didn't like run away. He did manage to get onto the ship of Dory and Brogy and, you know, saying how amazing their ship is, which again is like giving me such a teaser and such a taste for Elbaf that I just freaking love that, like, all the giant stuff. And the fact that Luffy said, like, the first person he said when he got on that ship was, oh, is Usopp here? Yeah, like, has Usopp seen this? He remembers as well that one of Usopp's greatest, you know, wants in life is to be like the greatest warrior of the sea. And obviously he wanted to see Elbaf and the giants, and he loved them like from Little Garden. Gosh, I need to reread Little Garden so badly. But I freaking loved that chapter. That was so good. That was so good. Oh, okay. onwards and upwards. I finished chapter 1121. I can only imagine how amazing this is going to look in the anime. I don't know where we've gotten up to in the anime yet. I did watch some of the early episodes of Egghead last year, and I do want to continue because the art style is so nice. It's so pretty. But, oh my gosh, have we actually defeated Saturn? Like, is he actually gone? You know, they did the Liberation Nika Punch, which was so awesome. And Luffy says he blew into pieces. And this is how he looks. Sorry, the glare is awful. But like this, it actually does look like he's kind of been blown to pieces. He's like literally like had pieces of him taken off. So is that Saturn dead now? Is that the first Elder gone? I don't know why. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment. And we've been building up for so long, like it's taken a long time. I don't know if I was expecting more of an explosion, I guess, or like more of I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, the fact that Bonnie and Luffy both, you know, work together. And even then the Straw Hats helped as well by, you know, they had to like lay into Luffy for a bit and like get him to expand and all of that. So like they did have a little bit of a hand in it. But yeah, I'm kind of glad about that, actually. Like, I'm glad that at least one of the elders is gone, unless I've read it wrong. So that means 1 down, 4 to go. We left this chapter as well with Vegapunk saying, like, the fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds it, the person who lays claim, oh my god, the glare, to the One Piece. And I'm glad that we are circling back now, because, yeah, we are in the final saga. I'm glad we are circling back to the vision of the One Piece and getting the One Piece. Like, it feels more necessary than ever to find it ASAP. Like, time is running out. It genuinely feels like there is a clock now and it's running, and like there is no more dilly-dallying, there is no more excursions. Like, we need to find this ASAP, and it's to save the world essentially. Oh my god, I love the gravity of that. I love the fact that it's gotten so much more serious, even though there's like so many players in the game now like who are trying to find it. I'm still rooting so badly for Luffy to be the one to get it. I need him to get it, please. Oh, seeing the Iron Giant as well help fight, and saying, oh, I can't wait to like fight alongside you again. That was epic. That was honestly so epic. And Oda is like really tying some loose ends together at the minute, especially with, you know, like how the world government were after different races, like the Buccaneers and the Lunarians and all of that. Like it was so cool how like Oda is like tying it all together. I'm just like, my mind is getting blown every single chapter essentially. It's just so fantastic. It's so good. And while a lot of this is being told to us and all of that, it's like not really as fun as like finding out gradually through like the poneglyphs and stuff. It's still like so much information that, you know, I do feel a little bit overloaded, but I'm so happy to have like some connections to things and like why the Buccaneers are getting wiped out and all of that. So that's so cool. Oh, but the main thing was Atlas. I think that was in chapter 1120. Yeah, chapter 1120. Like, is Atlas gone now? Like, is Atlas dead? The way that they like knocked Lilith out and York thinking the only Dr. Vegapunk left in the world is little old me. Like, Atlas is gone? Atlas is gone? What? Like, oh, like this moment when you can see Atlas's hand getting sliced off after like sacrificing themselves, making it look like Lilith is gone, but actually not. Like, take care of Lilith. And it looked like Atlas had actually done something to Lilith like in a bad way, but no, like they've sacrificed themselves so that the Straw Hats can like at least try and get away. That's so sad. Fucking York. Like, I'm serious. Like, I fucking hate York. But no, there was a lot of satisfaction to be had in chapter 1121 in like the defeat of Saturn. And I got reminded of Robin when Robin said, I want to live. Here we have Bunny saying, I won't, I'm going to live because they wanted me to be alive. You'll pay for what you did to my daddy and what you did to my mommy. You people aren't gods, but gods do exist. And then there's Luffy and Bonnie doing the liberation punch. Oh my god. Oh, but it was so sad as well when you think of what they've lost over the years because of them. There's so much damage that has been done by this government that can't be undone. But we can only do the best with what we have in trying to change the future, in trying to learn from people's mistakes and not letting these people be in power because they don't have the people's best interests at heart. They are awful, awful people. They are all people, so we need better people in government. Oh, like, I really want to just like continue reading right now because I've only got, what, like 3 chapters left? And then I'm caught up with Egghead. But like, I do actually need to leave so I can get my blood taken. Otherwise, I'm going to miss this appointment. But I'm like holding it off as long as possible. I just want to keep reading One Piece. If I look paler, it is because I have come back from the doctors and I almost fainted. I hate getting blood taken, and she took 3 vials. 3 vials of it. I felt fine the first one, and then the second one I was starting to feel a bit faint. Third one, I had to lie down. Anyway, I have finished chapters 1122 and 1123, and not too much really to say about it other than it does look like Saturn's alive, like it didn't take him out before, and that's fine, even though I loved like how satisfying it was to see Bonnie get a hit in and then for like Luffy to finish the job. That felt great to me, but it doesn't look like he's dead, so I guess the fight doth continue. Be interesting as well, because like we have so many people that we have to take down. There are so many villains, so many antagonists in our way, that it's going to be harder to get to the One Piece without all of this in the way. You know, we have Emu, we have the 5 Elders, we have Blackbeard, we have some of the Admirals. We just have so many people who we are against. And I'm like, how are we going to take all of them down before the end? I freaking love this. Like, this is another satisfying thing as well. Like, I'm getting to see so many things that I've wanted to see for a long time. And so to see them, like, escaping Egghead and on the way to Elbaf, a toast to reuniting with old friends, onward to Elbaf, onward to my dream. And that's what Usopp says. Oh, I just love it because I just cannot wait to get to Elbaf. I can't wait. I've loved Egghead so much. It's my first weekly arc. So I get what you mean now. Like, all the people who are watching may binge the series and telling me about like, oh, when you catch up and stuff, it might not read the same. And I totally agree, but I have still loved Egghead, but I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for Elbaf so much. So yeah, we do have, you know, Vegapunk revealing to us that there is like a void fortnight that in his head, where they did find out that York was the betrayer, York was the traitor, and I guess instead of writing that down, they decided not to, even though they do wake up to a letter, you know, saying, good morning, you'll find in your memory there is now a void fortnight. There are many surprises in store for you. Like, why didn't you just like say then? Like, just say everything that you need to say. Anyway, I'm sure there's like an explanation for that. I did feel quite sad when the robot was like left behind. Almost like the robot did help and used Haki. Like, there was actually Haki within this robot, which it was at the end of chapter 122, someone in a straw hat that looks like a straw hat, and it kind of looks a little bit like Luffy as well. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks like Luffy-ish, just like the silhouette. I've tied a knot of the greatest of Haki and locked it inside your body. You're going to keep on living long after I'm dead. There will come a day when I can't help you anymore. When your life is in danger or someone else is in danger whom you want to protect, that's when the time is right. Go ahead and untie that knot. And that's what the robot does. That's what the Iron Giant does with like the emperors on like their way to stopping the Straw Hats from escaping, and like the robot stops them. The elders go back to their original forms, and this I believe is Joy Boy with a straw hat, and it just, oh my god, like the fact that that also ties into the present day, this has helped them escape now. It just feels like a story that is coming full circle. But I feel so sad the comparison between the Iron Giant then kind of smiling and laughing. We're talking about a long time in the future, all right? Hee hee, a long, long time. I hope I don't get lonely, hee hee hee. And then, you know, you get to see the happy smiling face of the robot there, and then like the darkness and the shadows on the robot Iron Giant now. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It's a robot. I shouldn't really be feeling these things, but it's kind of sad to say that. But yeah, no, that chapter 1123 was good. Just like a lot of, again, like backstory. And it was so funny as well when Vegapunk was, you know, getting told about all the people who were arriving. Oh, the Straw Hats here. What? Oh, the Navy's here. What? That was so funny. And also the implications as well, because it did feel a little bit like, you know, at the end of, I think it was end of Marineford, when Whitebeard had said like the One Piece was real, and then it kind of motivated people to go seek the One Piece, and they were like, oh my god, the One Piece is real, the One Piece is real. And it's kind of happened again after the Vegapunk broadcast. A lot of people are like, we gotta go get it, the One Piece does exist. So now it's not just a race between the people who are the actual players in the story, but the regular folk as well. It seems like the regular folk are also wanting to get their hands on the One Piece, because if they get their hands on the One Piece, they can control the world essentially. And that is also why I think it was Kobe who is like, okay, Luffy, I've got to stop you from getting the One Piece, because again, like he's on the side of like the government, but like in a very complex way. Not in like the way of like the government being bad people, but just like in terms of like the rules and the kind of structure that Kobe knows. And again, it's like very blurry, that line between good and bad and right and wrong. So like that line is very blurred with Kobe. And so with Kobe saying, I have to stop your dream from being realized, I mean, it's kind of sad to see, you know, Kobe still say that after all this time, but it makes sense to his character that he would say that now. But I think Kobe's going to have a lot more on his hands than just Luffy getting the One Piece. And he's going to realize as well, Luffy will be the best person or one of the best people to get his hands on the One Piece. It isn't just Luffy going for it. There are a lot of bad people after it as well. We got Blackbeard for a second again in Carabao, who I despise. We saw him and how useful he will be though, because he knows things. He has some information which will help Blackbeard. I can't call it now. Like there's so many people playing this game and so many people have different advantages, different weaknesses to someone else. And it really does feel like anyone's game at the minute. Anyone could win it. So on to the last 2 chapters. Please be a good ending to the arc. I need Vivi to slap this falsehood amplifying albatross in the face. Go Vivi, I love you. I love you so much. But yeah, what do you mean Emperor Straw Hat Luffy murders Vegapunk? Liar. Liar. Oh my god, push him out. Push him out. And I have now finished Egghead. Oh my gosh, it was a great arc. Just thinking about it from beginning to end, there was just so much lore, so much given to us in terms of the context for the story and history. Oh god, it was great. But what in the ever-loving fuck did Emo just do to Saturn? So Saturn is actually dead now. Like, gotta be. Like, he became bones. You can't come back from that. Hey, that scene of Emo doing that genuinely gave me chills. I got chills. The way that Saturn's face looks during it, you can literally see the life leaving his eyes. Saturn, why did you allow Joy Boy to escape? Great Emu, mercy please. I did not know those powers were so nebulous. And then gone. Bones. Bones. Oh my gosh, the fact that Emo can just do that without even flinching, without really having to do much, and Saturn is just gone. And Saturn's been around for hundreds of years. He talked about like 200 years ago when he was the one who kind of let the robot kind of live because he thought it would make a good weapon for the Navy, that it would like come in use. But it turned out to blow up in his face, essentially. Oh my god, I don't feel sorry for Saturn whatsoever, but the fact that that could happen, the fact that Emo can do that, like one of the biggest mysteries and the biggest foes of One Piece to date, can just do that. Oh, wow. Loved when Edison managed to pretty much destroy punk records as well. That's awesome. Especially when we just had before that Saturn was like, don't bother with Elbaf. They're now in possession of what they came for, York, Punk Records, the power plant. With these 3, we gain the Mother Flame, a fire that never goes out. For the present moment, this is acceptable. So, like, they thought that they ate. Saturn thought that he ate, but he did not. He did not eat. I wonder if Dragon will be more featured in the next arc of One Piece, now that we've ended this arc with him. The problem, Vegapunk, is that not everyone who believes your warning is going to prepare for this looming disaster peacefully. This demands a swift resolution because it won't be long before the people of the world begin to fight over safe ground. Like, maybe Vegapunk has caused chaos with his broadcast. There is definitely going to be anarchy and panic and all of the things moving forward now in this world. And I'm very excited to see how that unfolds. Again, very excited about Elbaf. I love the fact that the Straw Hats are on the giant ship and they look tiny. They look tiny on this ship because obviously the giants are giant. So even like their beds and stuff are massive and the sofas that they're sitting on are massive. Love that. And I can't wait to see how Oda illustrates Elbaf and the Straw Hats within it. Oh, I can't wait to see the new outfits because usually they get a new outfit every single time they go to a different place. Can't wait to see the new outfits. Egghead had some of the best fashion so far, in my opinion. Oh, I want to do, like, after like doing all of this, I want to go back to the start of the Egghead arc in the anime and watch it through because this is just so good. This was so good. So apparently a new chapter coming in 3 days. So that's 1,142 chapters. And I've just finished chapter 1,125. So that's quite a few chapters for Elbaf so far. So there's definitely the potential of me doing an Elbaf video pretty soon. Oh, and before I go as well, Lilith says that all the people who have died are, in short, they're all alive. So like Vegapunk. I was crying earlier because I was sad about everyone else's death, but it is only death by your concept of it. You say the truth is, in short, they're all alive. So I'm like, okay, are they just alive in their hearts, alive in their dreams. Whenever someone holds the will of someone else in their hearts, do they live on? It's a little bit like the love of my life Ace. You know, he still lives because my love for him still exists. So like, is that the same kind of thing? There wasn't like a full-on conversation about like what that actually means. I mean, even though chapter 1125 was called What Death Means, I don't think I actually got what death meant in that chapter. We do have Rob Lucci saying that he killed Stussy. I don't know what I think about that. We also have Robin being excited to see Saul in Elbaf because, you know, she hasn't seen him since she was younger, and it was a shock for her to discover that Saul was still alive. And so to see that reunion, I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see that reunion. I'm also excited to see Garling being the godhead of science and defense, because they're even saying the world will be thrown into chaos on a level we've never seen before. Like, yeah, probably will, with Garling being the godhead of science and defense. Like, what does that entail? Like, what is he going to do? How is that going to affect the world? Now, One Piece isn't really just a story about the Straw Hats, which part of me is kind of sad about that, because having the scope of the story be so huge and so massive and to incorporate so much more of the world means we don't get as much of the Straw Hats story or their personalities or how they're progressing as characters, because the scope is just so massive now and it incorporates the entire world, which, you know, I both love and hate. I love it because this world just feels that much more rich and the stakes just feel that much more higher. So I love it for that. But yeah, I kind of do miss when we had so much more focus on the Straw Hats and them working together, discovering things themselves and going on adventures and learning about each other. You know, I kind of miss that. But all in all, Egghead was a fantastic arc all the way through. Definitely was sad at times, especially with Kuma. Can't wait to see what happens with Kuma next as well. But yeah, hopefully I won't take too long to start Elbaf. I will probably start like the first 20 chapters of it pretty soon, and then I might do like One Piece chapters like maybe every 10 chapters or something like that. But do keep an eye out. Do subscribe to my manga channel for more One Piece, for more manga outside of One Piece as well, because then you will see those videos pop up on your subscription feed when they materialize, which hopefully shouldn't be too long. But thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like it if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.